Hello and welcome to CloudFolks Hub. My name is Bhavesh Atara. You are learning Elastic Container Service and this video is part 2 of Step Autoscaling Policy in ECS. So let's start. In the last video, I already explained you about what is our requirement and now we need to set up two step scaling policy. One scale out and another one is scale in. We are going to set up scale out policy during service creation and then we will set up scale in policy after service creation, right? So what I am doing, I am going to the AWS console. Here I don't have any service, so I am going to create service. Now here we want to create one service for temporary period of time. Why? Because after service creation, we want to set up scale in policy as well. So that's why I'm going to select all the mandatory options. Definitely, once we will understand all the services options, we will set up our application according to the best practice. We will set up VPC and everything. So right now, I'm just setting up service for testing. So here I am going to select task definition. Here I am going to select number of task, means desired task. Let me say I want 2 desired tasks. Then I have default VPC. I am just going with the default VPC because we are just testing our application. So no need to worry. For real world, we will set up VPC as well. Now here I am getting service auto scaling. Do you want to enable? Yes, I am going to enable service auto scaling. Minimum number of tasks 2, maximum 10. And I want to go with the step scaling. Here I have to provide policy name. Let's say that SC out, because we are going to set up scale out policy, right? And I have my web app. So I'm going to select this. Same way we need to provide CloudWatch alarm name as well. Here I'm going to add say like ALM. Now what are these options? Let's understand step by step. So we have to provide policy name, a label for scaling policy. Now, after that, we have to provide alarm name. Look, step scaling is totally depend on CloudWatch alarm. Okay. And we need to set up alarm right now. And we have to provide name. So name of the CloudWatch alarm linked to this policy. When you attach scaling policy during ECS service creation, right now we are creating ECS service and during this we are creating this policy, right? So yeah, when you attach scaling policy during ECS service creation in the console, require you to create new CloudWatch alarm on the spot. You cannot select existing alarm in this stage. Okay, so I have to create new CloudWatch alarm and I have to provide all the details required to create CloudWatch alarm. Yeah, once you have service created and then after if you are going to set up scale out policy or scale in, you can also choose existing alarm. Now you may have this question like how we can do this. No need to worry. For scale out, we are creating this particular alarm during the service creation. For scale in, we will create alarm in advance and then we will attach. So you will understand both of this process, right? Now, we are always setting up CloudWatch alarm to monitor something. So what you want to monitor? According to this, we need to select metric. Here they are actually providing 2 metrics of task, CPU utilization and memory utilization. So I'm going to use CPU utilization. CloudWatch metric. We have 2 CPU utilization. Select based on average CPU and select based on memory. So you want to add number of tasks based on CPU utilization or memory utilization. I'm going to choose CPU utilization, right? Okay. Then we have statistics. Look, I want to monitor CPU, but how I want to monitor? Now this is the most important point. Here we have average, maximum, minimum, sample count, sum. I'm going to explain you this with particular example. So let's say that if you are going to go with average, mean value across the task, common value across the task, maximum, highest task value, minimum, lowest task value. Here this example will provide you crystal clear detail. Let's say that I have 4 tasks running. First task 30% CPU utilization, second 50, third 70 and fourth 90. Now if I am going to select average, it is going to monitor my service, running task, and it is going to create average of all the CPU, and then it is going to track this. So we can say that average CPU utilization would be 60 if I have 4 tasks running. If I am going to talk about like maximum, it is going to just pick up the task with the maximum CPU utilization, and based on this it is going to trigger alarm, and same way 30 means minimum. In general, we are always looking for average. So if average of all the tasks running in my service is going more than 60%, I want to track this, right? So we are always selecting, in most of the cases, average. Now here we have multiple settings. Look at this. So what I am doing, I am going to explain you all these settings with one particular example. So for CloudWatch to trigger scaling policy, we must define 4 key settings: alarm condition, threshold, period, and evaluation period. Okay, this is evaluation period. Okay. One example will provide you crystal clear explanation. Let's say that metric, we are actually going to monitor CPU utilization. This is metric. Alarm condition, when you want to trigger alarm, when the value goes above the setup value or lower. Now look, what we are doing, we are actually going to set up scale out policy. Means we want to increase number of tasks according to the CPU utilization. If CPU utilization going higher, we want to add a task, right? So in this case, we have to set up greater or greater / equal, right? Because we want to set up scale out policy. We want to monitor CPU utilization. If it is going more than 60%, we want to add a task. So when we are going to set up scale out, we are always going on greater or greater / equal, right? Now, when we are going to set up scale in, we will set up this after service creation. We are looking for CPU utilization is going down, right? So at that time, if CPU utilization is going below 80%, we want to remove tasks. Below 70%, we want to remove tasks. So at that time, we will look at the less than or less than / equal, right? So in general, for scale out, we are always looking for greater than value. For scale in, we are always looking for less than. Right now, we are actually going to set up scale out. So I am going to select this greater. Now, greater than of what? So here I am going to provide this threshold, right? 60. Then we have period. Here I am going to select 1 minute. And then we have evaluation period. Here I am going to select 3. Now, what is the meaning of all this combination? One line will provide you complete detail.
Sorry to interrupt you. I know you guys are enjoying our video a lot because our final ultimate goal is Solution Architect Certification exam. To reach the destination, we required full videos. Path number 1, our 6-in-1 program. Our 6-in-1 program include all prerequisite skills which is needed as a cloud engineer. It include 24/7 support, lifetime update, section-wise practice test, full course practice test with tips and tricks by Bhavesh Atara, how to do exam preparation course, weekly lifetime live session with Bhavesh Atara, and 6 AWS project with documents. Path number 2, you can enroll by paying $499 and get Hindi and English, both the languages, videos of AWS. The choice is yours how to create your success story by choosing best one. Best of luck. Thank you.